Fantastic. Well, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Want to give a real big warm welcome to all the newest members that may be attending Locker Room today. My name is Greg, just in case we haven't met. And we come together for Locker Room to talk about a lot of different stuff. But before I go ahead and get started, I just want to make sure everyone, please turn your cameras on, okay, as we want to make sure that we maintain the integrity of the call for the time being. Mr. Malone is going to go through and make sure that everyone's above board here because we have people that's trolling in, disrupting sometimes what it is that we do as a global community. So please turn your cameras on and everything like that just for the time being so he can do that, okay? And I just want to start off by giving a warm welcome to our newest members. This is Saturday Locker Room, and what we do is we come together to talk about everything from business leadership to systems to increasing our financial literacy, which is really a big deal, and how our particular project fits into the global scheme of everything that's going on in the world. As we all like to say, we are really the tip of the spear of what's happening worldwide, and we mean that so sincerely. And as you're plugging into our culture and our community, you're going to get more and more excited and understanding why what we have is so doggone powerful. And so, like I said, I'm not going to keep you guys very long. I do want you guys to take out pen and paper to take some notes. They say that what the hand does, the mind remembers. So whatever the hand does, the mind definitely remembers. So it's about taking action, if you will, okay? One of the things I was dealing with being, in the season of Thanksgiving, a lot of times we're very reflective, about our lives and our loved ones, where we've come from and where we're going. And so today, what I want to really set the tone for today is really getting prepared for what's getting ready to happen in 2025 as a community. We have some things we've been working on behind the scenes, you guys, and we are so dead serious about making sure that 2025 is your best year, from a financial perspective as we build our global community. And when we're talking to come to Locker Room, a lot of times it becomes a little bit of a challenge from time to time to talk about things because what we do is so simple. It really is simple, but it's not easy. And what's not easy about it is getting people to understand how simple it really is. And so it's very basic what we do. And so I'm going to be talking about some foundational things today. Some of you may have heard it before, but they say repetition is the mother of learning, okay? And some of you, this may be new to you, but I want to set the tone for what we need to do. We're not waiting to January 1st from a mindset and a spiritual perspective for the gun to go off. We're going to start right now. After this season of Thanksgiving, we're going to start getting into the mindset and the mind frame. And we're going to give some basic foundation of what we all need to do on an individual basis, but also what's going to happen collectively as we do it together. It's going to take everyone's income, or let's just say monthly recurring revenue, through the roof. I promise you that if you stay plugged in and be sincere about what I'm going to share with you guys, okay? So let me go ahead and share my screen here real quickly. And I'm going to go over a couple of things with you. Move this out of the way. Okay. And as I'm doing this, I want you guys to also understand, like I said, we have some things that we've been working on that's going to be being revealed over the coming weeks here. And so what I want to do is start off by just sharing some foundational things with you guys. One of the things that people do is they complicate this business unnecessarily, and I understand why. And something a mentor shared with me some time ago, he said, Greg, you got to look at money and economics like religion, okay? Economics is like a religion, and you have different religions out there, right? And so just like economics, you have different, economies out there. You have capitalism, you have socialism, you have communism. On a more granular level, you have the religion of an employee, and there's a dogmatic approach to being an employee. Then you have self-employed. That's a religion, and you have a dogmatic approach to that. Or you have business owners. So it's all about understanding your religion, and it's okay if you look at it from that perspective that you switch up, okay? Because a lot of times, the religion that we take on is something that we were born into. Never vetted it. It's just because our parents were this specific religion, our culture, the environment, the neighborhood, everyone's this religion. And so we never took the time to vet and understand that there could be other approaches, if you will, that can free us and liberate us, if that makes sense to everybody. It's the same thing when it comes to money. I want to show this to you guys because I want to talk to you guys about this, okay? Funds, okay? What we're doing as a global community is we're basically organizing a one-time out-of-pocket, pooling it together. And what's happening is that the way in which it's structured, it becomes a raging river of cash on an ongoing basis that can basically sustain and create a lifestyle of our dreams rather than the exchanging of time for money. And I want to share this with you because, as you guys know, our schools, they don't teach us anything about money. And that's by design because they want us to be dependent on them, if you will. And them, you know, banks, Wall Street, things of that nature. So when you look at banks and Wall Street, it's nothing but a big marketing game. They have to have you believe that you need them in order to be successful or to create wealth. But once you understand and learn what the magician knows, it's not magic anymore. And you can stop pooling your money into their environment where they control it. And as we awaken as a global community, we can take control of the pooling of money and make it work in the best interests of everyone around the world. So when you look at funds, there's different kinds of funds out there, right? There's mutual funds, there's index funds, there's hedge funds, right? There's all kind of funds. But the thing that I want you guys to really pay attention to, I'm trying to find my little, there it is this word right here. It's the pooling of money. Now, the hedge funds, mutual funds, things of that nature, they all have their different rules of engagement, okay? But the main thing that you guys need to understand is that they're looking for us to give every paycheck we want to put into our 401k. We want to throw it in the bank, in the stock market. They've created a marketing plan where we're taking all of our money because we don't know how to create wealth. We only know how to be wage slaves. And they say, hey, give us your money and we're going to show you how to create wealth, right? But how's that been working out for most people? Not too good, right? So I want to break this thing down for you guys. Look here at mutual funds. I'm losing this pen here. There it is. Okay, you look at mutual funds here. And here's that word pools again. It's a managed fund that pools money from shareholders to invest in securities, right? So we're not doing anything any differently. But let me show you how that works here so that you guys have a clear understanding how mutual funds work. And what I want to do is I want to compare it to what it is that we do so that you can have a light bulb moment and not allow people that don't know anything about money to knock you out of this game. Okay. So you have investors, right? And what you do as investors is you pool their money together. There's that word pool. And you send it to a fund manager, basically a pool manager, right? Here's that centralization. Here's that intermediary, that middle person that is so much smarter than you and I, right? But if you guys know that financial planners and salespeople, they don't make their money off of the investments that they're telling you to do. They make their money off of management fees, right? So they then take your money and they put it into securities, right? The market. And then they're supposed to generate a return for you. And then it's passed down to investors. And that's what they do. And it literally is passed down because it's the ultimate pyramid, right? Now, here's what I want you guys to understand why we're so different. Because what we're doing is we're not investing. This is not an investment platform. It's an investment of labor, a one-time investment of labor. So I'm going to replace investors with strategic partners because now we're aware of how money flows, right? We understand that we don't have to give our money to middle people. We can take control and put it into a platform, if you will, and it's going to behave way better than putting it into the stock market or any kind of fund. Why? Because of this one key word, control. Please write that down. Investing is not risky, but what is risky is not being in control. When you put your money into the stock market index funds or any kind of fund like that, do you have control? Do you even really know how it works? Right? No one really understands how it works. It's just a gumbo soup, and we have to have blind faith that these fund managers, okay, know how to invest our money properly. So we take on all of the risk, right? So we go from being strategic partners and we pool our money together. And guess what? We remove the fund manager because we now know better. So what everyone is doing in our environment is we're looking to identify 3 strategic partners that want to take a one-time out of pocket and invest it into a decentralized environment, which is the blockchain, which we talked about last week. This is the motherlode of opportunity that people are sleeping at the wheel. People are caught up in crypto and all this kind of stuff. The blockchain is the soil. There is no crypto without the blockchain, right? So the blockchain is the modern day gold rush. And what we're doing is on the soil, which is the blockchain, we're opening up digital wallets, which are like the houses on the blockchain. So in a sense, we're all like developers, real estate developers, as this is the new frontier in which everyone is going to, right? Now, I just stay with me, you guys, on this, okay? So that's what we're doing. And then we're able to generate, okay, revenue sharing based on our 10-week game plan. Think about that for a moment. We have complete control. If people just wake up, we have complete control of what we're able to generate from a revenue standpoint. Daily, monthly, recurring revenue based on our 10-week internal rate of return. Now, here's the beautiful thing about what we have here. It's infinite, right? So what we're doing is we're creating an empowerment fund, which is way better than any kind of mutual fund, index fund, or any kind of fund out there, because once again, when you learn what the magician knows, it's not magic anymore. People, I'm telling you, it is the ultimate mutual funds and all of those funds that people put their money in. That is the ultimate Ponzi scheme. And so if you guys see there at the bottom, we've gone over this before, go to www.smarterthanmoney.com/STM, right? Learn that. Download that PDF. Read the PDF first, then watch the video, and you are going to see that it is the ultimate Ponzi scheme, and they're pooling people's money together in their Ponzi scheme. All right. Now, what we can do is we're able to take our own money, invest it in 3 people one time. They turn around and do the exact same thing one time ever. And through our process of building digital wallets on the blockchain, we can develop our own civilization and basically procure all the revenue coming into our ecosystem. Not just once, but infinitely. There is no saturation point here whatsoever. Okay? So, having said that, one of the things that we want to do going into 2025, and we got to get geared up right now, and we talk about this in new members orientation, but I think people just intellectualize this, but these are guiding principles, team, that we have to tattoo to our hearts here. We have to. And then it's also our responsibility to make sure that any new members that we bring on, strategic partners, that they tattoo these 4 guiding principles to their heart, meaning principles, they work for everyone, right? They don't change. Like laws can change. They're changing laws left and right now, right? Without our vote or permission. Principles don't change. So belief, number 1 principle is belief. Going into 2025, it's going to be very, very important that you understand that your belief that you can have what you want in life is more important than skill. I'm here to tell you guys that belief is everything. That's the law of life. Okay? So you're going to be able to develop the skill sets over time that's necessary if you stay plugged in. And what's going to keep you plugged in is your belief that if somebody else can do it, so can you. It's really as simple as that. Okay? You got to have strong, unwavering belief. That's why you want to plug into the culture and into the community. Because I'm going to tell you guys this. I was having a conversation with some of our leaders, and one of the things that I'm telling you in the new economy, in the 21st century, It's the people that can build the best communities that win. It's all about community. It's not transactional anymore. It's transformation. Okay. Number 2 is system. You have to be system dependent. Okay. Not personality dependent. Way too many people, they're so caught up in personality. Well, I like how this person does it, or I like how this is. It's like, don't worry about that. Look at the system. Okay. Because we have here, if your plan requires luck, it's the wrong plan. People that are putting their money into those index funds, mutual funds and all that, that's luck. That's gambling. They're just playing the casino and hoping and praying that by the time they get to retirement age, they have enough coming in to sustain their golden years, right? You don't have to wait till your retirement age to do that, you guys. We have a system in place that we control as conscious, aware, strategic partners of the flow of money and how it works now, right? And blockchain is now making it possible for the first time in our lifetime to take that control back. Number 3, principle, know your numbers. We say words talk, numbers scream, right? There's a lot of people that have a lot of flowery words out there, but the numbers scream. Just like when you go to a doctor, they want to know your numbers. You go to a bank to get a loan, they want to know your numbers. They don't want to know, if you were A student or B student. They want to know your numbers. It's the same thing when it comes to your business as well. You have to know your numbers. When I'm talking about what is the number that you need to hit, right, to walk away from your full-time employment if you so choose. All right. What is the number that you need to hit on a monthly basis if you're a charity, all right, that's trying to do things in the community? You need to know that specifically. Otherwise, you're just guessing. And then the 4th principle is cash flow is more valuable than cash accumulation because wealth is not income, right? Our bills are residual in nature, so our income needs to be residual in nature as well. Make sense? So these 4 guiding principles, you want to memorize these, right? And you want to get them tattooed in your heart, and you want to make business decisions based on these 4 guiding principles here, okay? So the financial blueprint, moving into 2025, this is critical, right? Becoming smarter than money. What does that mean to be smarter than money? When your monthly recurring revenue covers your expenses. It's really just as simple as that. You're not smart. Money's smarter than you if you have to wake up when you're not through sleeping and clock into a job just to get a paycheck to cover your expenses on a month-to-month basis. That is money being smarter than you, right? Being smarter than money is when you have a system and a business in place that's allowing you to have monthly recurring revenue coming in that's greater than your monthly expenses, right? This is your financial blueprint. Take this very, very seriously and get very, very serious about it. Okay. Number 2, lifestyle costs. You have to determine your lifestyle costs and set a financial goal. So what do I mean by that? Whatever you're making right now from your job, right? Obviously that's covering at least your monthly expenses. Otherwise you'd be homeless, right? So a lot of times people get involved in different businesses and they want to make, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 a month, things of that nature. And if there's no one making $100,000 a month, they're trying to say, well, this isn't a real opportunity or business. And if you've never made that kind of money, all right, don't expect yourself to make that kind of money from day one. Let's just get you some financial relief first. So if right now you're just generating $2,000 a month, but it's covering your monthly expenses where you're at right now, then write that down. Because we have a 10-week game plan that you can see with mathematical certainty when you can get there, right? And all you're doing is you're looking for 3 partners, which goes to number 3, build your team. Identify 3 trustworthy partners, right, that want to become smarter than money, that know their lifestyle costs, and you have a 10-week game plan on paper that you can show them exactly how quickly they can get to that point. Because money takes up so much of our bandwidth on a day-to-day basis. I'm going to think about it, all right? People are thinking about, okay, this bill's coming up, go out to a restaurant. Can I afford to eat this? Or they want to buy something. Can I afford this? Can I go on vacation? Can I afford that, right? So money takes up so much bandwidth. So the first thing that we want to do with all of our newest strategic partners, let's get them some financial relief. Let's find that number that replaces their monthly income right now. When that happens on a monthly recurring basis because of this business, now that frees up their mind for imagination. Because the reason why people don't dream anymore is because it costs money. And if you're suffering or drowning in debt, it's very, very hard for you to dream of a better life. So let's get to financial relief. When it comes to building your team, you guys see here that we put here, lack of trust is fatal to a free society. It is so true. It really, really is. We have to begin to trust in each other, right? If you don't have trust, the idea of us becoming free, you can kiss that goodbye. I'm just telling you guys what I know. So if you look at the news and you look at everything that's taking place, they're doing everything to divide and conquer. That's how they're able to seep in with any agenda that they have. As long as you keep people divided and conquered based on race, religion, politics and all that kind of stuff, then it keeps us from coming together and organizing in such a way that we can make our lives collectively much better, right? So lack of trust is fatal. It's the death of a free society. So we're looking to change that around, if that makes sense, everyone. So this is going to be your financial blueprint. It's really just this simple. Now it's just a matter of executing, if you will, okay? So we're talking about going from a top-down model to a bottom-up model, right? We're talking about decentralization. We're talking about prosumerism, okay? We're talking about being both the lender and the borrower in this situation. We're talking about revenue sharing. So when you look at this example to your right, you see how the money's able to move so freely, so independently, versus to the left where you have to go to, a central authority for permission to move your money around. And they're going to ask you why you need the money. Some of you are experiencing that right now. In fact, I know that Mario and there's some people over in the UK, and there may be some people in other parts of the world. I know for sure they want to use their money and put it into whatever they want to put it into, and the banks are telling them no. What do you mean no? All right, that's the money I worked hard for. As an adult, I want to put my money here, and you're telling me no. And I'm here to let you guys know it's only going to get worse. So what we're doing is even bigger than just us making the money and the monthly recurring revenue. That's definitely number one. But number two is the fact that we get to gain more control back through our environment as well, team. Okay? So this is about bottom up, not top down. This is what we're developing, and we got to get our friends and family to understand this, okay? I want to play this short video for you, and then I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to, just be with you guys just for a moment to share that with you as we're going to be ramping up to 2025. Over the coming weeks, we're going to be revealing what it is that we've been working so hard on for our global community to take everyone's monthly recurring revenue to a whole nother level. And I can tell you guys this, you guys are going to be blown away by what it is that we got in store for you. But I want to play this short video for you guys. And this is for those of you that's not familiar, with the CBDC and things that's taking place. It's really, really short. And the reason why I'm playing this for you guys is because of another big agenda that we have to really, really awaken our friends and our family about what's really happening, the centralization that's taking place and the control grid that they're looking to put in place that is only going to make our lives a lot harder from a financial perspective. And so Catherine Austin Fitz is someone that I listen to. You're going to hear she's being interviewed by Tucker Carlson. This is a short video, but she's genius. She's a brilliant woman. She worked, in the White House, so she knows she's an insider, knows what she's talking about. And based on what she saw, she decoupled herself from that, and she's trying to get people to understand exactly what's taking place, okay, in government and what they're looking to do. So this was some time ago, but I think it definitely adds value, and then we'll wrap it up for today. I'll take any questions, okay?
Take away cash and make everything digital, and digital currency is central bank digital currency. Obviously, you have no power whatsoever. If they don't like what you're doing, they just shut you down and you're impoverished. It just happened in Canada last winter, so we know what the consequences are. We know why they want it. So that couldn't happen, right? Well, we may live to see the day that it does happen. And here's the latest sign that it may be happening. The number of banks and ATM machines in this country are in steep decline. Far fewer than there were just a few years ago. And in some countries like Australia, they're going away at high speed. So this is not something that anyone voted on. This is something that they're just doing, whether you like it or not. So you can say we have cash, but if you can't get cash, then do you really have cash? So where's this going? That's the question we want to assess tonight. And we're going to with Catherine Austin Fitts, who has been monitoring this. She founded the Solari Report. She's also the Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and we're happy to have her. Catherine, thanks for coming on. So I think if you put this up to a vote nationally, most people would say, no, I may not use cash, but I'd like to have cash, because if there's no cash, then I have no control over my life. But it seems like this could be a way to affect the same outcome without a vote.
So, Tucker, one of the bedrocks of freedom is freedom to do financial transactions, including privately, or freedom to do where you want to do and wherever you want to do. And unfortunately, as the financial system has become more and more digital, you see more and more not only invasive surveillance, but more and more controls. You referred to Canada, perfect example. And the reality, as the financial system gets more controlling and more invasive, it's a little bit like bringing up a corral around us. And CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and vaccine passports or digital IDs are sort of the last shutting of the gate. It's hard for many people to imagine the risks here because we're so used to living with financial transaction freedom, and we don't understand that when this gate closes on us, we literally will be sitting in a system where the central banks believe that our assets belong to them, and they can dictate where we can spend money and what we can spend money on. The important thing to understand is central bank digital currencies are not currencies. It's a financial transaction control grid, and it gives the ability for the central bankers, and they've said this publicly, the ability to not only set the rules centrally, but enforce the rules centrally. If you don't behave, you can have your money turned off.
You keep hearing people on television say cash is for criminals. Why would you need cash if you're not doing something bad? Why are so few financial journalists pointing out that actually if cash goes away, so does any power you might have had over your own life?
Well, I find a lot more journalists are beginning to understand and are beginning to not only write about this and talk about this, but do documentaries. We just had a new documentary done here out of the Netherlands called State of Control, which does a great job of explaining the invasive nature of this control grid. I think it's very hard for people who've grown up and enjoyed Western liberty and human liberty to imagine literally that we're going into a system where literally our homes, our cars, our communities become digital concentration camps. So if you've enjoyed liberty, it's very hard to, perceive this iceberg before you hit it. And that's why it's so important, and I commend you for talking about CBDCs, because we need to not let the propaganda persuade us that, one, this is convenient, or two, that we need this, or three, we need to understand not only the dangers of CBDCs, but the opportunities if we start to reverse financial tyranny. We've seen the financial system engineered using the federal credit to increase inequality and centralize political and economic control, and it's shrinking our wealth and it's shrinking our economy. We have debt growing and central control growing much faster than the GDP. That can be reversed. So the opportunity of rejecting financial tyranny and financial transaction control is so important. And all over the United States, there are great state legislatures working on legislation and passing legislation to protect our right to use cash, increasingly talking about state bullion depositories, state sovereign banks. There are many people doing this, and if you look at what they're doing, when it succeeds, it can really reinvigorate our economy. And so don't forget the opportunity of rejecting this.
Right. I think when people understand it, that's the first step. Catherine Austin Fitts, great to see you tonight. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Tucker.
Okay. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Let me go ahead and turn my screen back on here. I just wanted to share that with you guys just on so many different levels. What we're doing as a community is we're giving power back to our, to people worldwide, generating monthly recurring revenue, becoming our own bank essentially. Eventually, we'll be able to create our own currency at some point in time as well, which would be pretty cool. So we're doing something that's going to be built for scale long term. But I think a lot of us are not aware of what's happening from a political standpoint with central bank digital currencies and things of that nature. And that's why the opportunity is so huge. There is no bigger opportunity than what we're doing right now. So this is more than just for us. This is for the planet. Okay. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. I didn't want to keep you guys too long, but